What just happened in Pittsburgh has every Steelers fan talking. The con artist has struck again, and this time, he's targeted the defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers have pulled off another bold move, landing safety Kyle Duggar from the New England Patriots in a smart trade that's already making headlines. Before we dive deeper into this breaking story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and hit that bell icon so you never miss any Steelers updates, news, or big-time moves like this one. All right, let's jump into the latest news. The trade is official. Pittsburgh gets Kyle Duggar and a 2026 7th-round pick, while New England receives a 2026 6th-round pick in return. So really, the Steelers only moved down one round in the draft, and in exchange, they get a proven defensive piece to strengthen the secondary. That's what you call a smart move. NFL insider Tom Pelissero broke the news first, confirming that Kyle Duggar, who recently lost his starting role in New England, will now have a fresh start in Pittsburgh. Soon after, Ian Rappaport added that the Steelers are placing DeShon Elliott on injured reserve due to a knee injury, opening up the roster spot for Duggar. Coach Mike Tomlin later revealed that Elliott has a hyperextended knee, and medical staff advised resting him for at least a month. So while Elliott recovers, Duggar steps in, ready to prove himself and bring some extra firepower to the Steelers' defense. This move shows one thing clearly. Pittsburgh isn't waiting around. They're fixing their defense now. So stay with me, because this might just be the first of several big moves coming out of Pittsburgh before the trade deadline. Kyle Duggar. The name alone brings power and toughness. Once a first-round pick, he's always been known as one of the most versatile and hard-hitting safeties in football. Strong, athletic, and fearless, a player who loves contact and thrives in the chaos of the run game. Now, yes, his time in New England ended with him losing his starting spot to a pair of younger players, but that doesn't change who Kyle Duggar is. This is a guy built to bounce back. At 216 pounds, he's that old-school, downhill thumper who can make receivers think twice before crossing the middle. And here's something interesting. He already has chemistry with Jabril Peppers, his former Patriots teammate. That connection could help Duggar settle in fast with Pittsburgh's defense, especially while DeShon Elliott recovers from injury. If the Steelers line up Peppers and Duggar together, that's a hard-hitting safety duo no offense will want to face. Two players who know each other's game, communicate well, and love to bring the heat. Exactly what Coach Tomlin wants in his secondary. Reports say Duggar could arrive in Pittsburgh as early as tomorrow and might even suit up against the Indianapolis Colts this Sunday. That's quick, but if there's one thing we know about the Steelers, it's that they move fast when opportunity strikes. This trade could quietly become one of those under-the-radar moves that changes everything for the defense. So stay with me. We've got more to break down about how this move could reshape the Steelers' defensive strategy going forward. If I had to describe this trade in one word, it's versatility. That's exactly what Kyle Duggar brings to the Pittsburgh Steelers' defense. He's not just another name on the roster. He's a player who can do almost everything. He can come down to stop the run, handle blocks like a linebacker, and still cover the middle of the field when needed. That kind of flexibility is rare. Duggar is known for being a reliable tackler, someone who doesn't miss his mark. He reads plays fast, reacts faster, and loves contact. In many ways, he mirrors what DeShon Elliott brought to this defense: toughness, discipline, and energy. But the Steelers didn't just want a replacement. They wanted someone they could trust even more, someone who already understands the style and rhythm of his potential partner in the secondary, Jabril Peppers. That pre-built chemistry between the two could become one of the biggest advantages Pittsburgh gains from this move. And when you look at Duggar's track record over the past 4 seasons with New England, the numbers speak for themselves. He's been consistently productive, piling up tackles, forcing fumbles, and even showing flashes of being a true ball hawk when the moment calls for it. So while some might see this as a minor trade, the reality is simple. Duggar brings balance, strength, and a new edge to this Steelers defense. Stay with me, because next, we'll dive deeper into what this move really means for the rest of Pittsburgh's season and how it could shift their defensive identity moving forward. Kyle Duggar brings something rare, the perfect blend of size, strength, and athleticism. At over 210 pounds, he's built like a linebacker but moves with the quickness of a safety. Now, he might not be that classic center field safety who flies sideline to sideline, but that's not what Pittsburgh needs right now. The Steelers brought him in because of his run-stopping power and his ability to shut down tight ends, a role that's been tough to fill since DeShon Elliott's injury. Covering big, physical targets over the middle, that's where Duggar shines. You can bet the Steelers are already eyeing this matchup against the Colts, where Duggar could find himself locking horns with one of their top tight ends right away. In New England, under Mike Vrabel's system, Duggar didn't quite fit. That scheme called for lighter, faster safeties, not hard-hitting enforcers like him. But in Pittsburgh, it's the perfect match. The Steelers' defense thrives on physicality, aggression, and discipline, exactly what Duggar brings to the table. And that's not all. Pittsburgh also made a quiet but interesting move by adding Derek Forrest, a 200-pound safety with 4.4 speed, to the practice squad. Forrest has starting experience with Washington, and while this signing flew under the radar, it could turn out to be a smart depth move. If we're being honest, the Steelers knew they had an issue at safety depth. The mix of Chuck Clark and Juan Thornhill didn't hold up well once Elliott went down. Clark, in particular, struggled to keep up in coverage, and it wouldn't be surprising if his future in Pittsburgh comes into question once Elliott returns. The good news? Elliott is expected back later this season. When that happens, the Steelers will have 3 capable safeties, Elliott, Peppers, and Duggar, giving them flexibility in those dime packages and subformations. That means defensive coordinator Terrell Austin can get creative, pulling a linebacker like Patrick Queen off the field in passing downs and letting Duggar roam free, ready to blitz, hit, or drop into coverage. In short, this move doesn't just fix a problem, it gives the Steelers options. Real, game-changing options. Stay with me, because next, we'll talk about what this means for the Steelers' defensive identity going forward and how it could transform their season. Let's be honest, Patrick Queen has been a solid addition for Pittsburgh. He's explosive, physical, and has done great work against the run this season. But when it comes to coverage, especially in zone defense, he's had moments where offenses have taken advantage. That's where Kyle Duggar changes everything. Pairing Duggar with a coverage linebacker like Peyton Wilson gives the Steelers a stronger, more balanced defense. One that can handle both the run and the pass without leaving holes in the middle of the field. For now, Duggar is expected to step in as the team's starting strong safety, and if he adapts quickly in practice this week, there's a real chance we'll see him take the field against the Colts. The Steelers clearly wanted to address the safety position after Deshaun Elliott's injury, and this trade shows just how serious they are about tightening things up. What makes this move even better is the value. Pittsburgh didn't give up much, just dropped a 6th-round pick to a 7th-rounder. That's an incredibly low price for a player who can make an immediate impact on defense. Omar Khan pulled off another smart, calculated move, one that boosts the defense now without sacrificing the team's future. If you had told me the Steelers could land a proven safety like Duggar for this kind of deal, I'd take it every single time. This isn't just about filling a gap, it's about upgrading a weakness and reinforcing what already works. For now, I'd grade this trade around an A-. Great value, perfect timing, and a player who fits exactly what Pittsburgh needs. It's a move that strengthens the defense right away and adds depth for when Elliott returns later in the season. Stay with me, because next, we'll wrap this all up with what this trade really tells us about Omar Khan's vision and how the Steelers are quietly building something big. So here's the bottom line. Kyle Duggar gives the Steelers immediate help right when they need it most. With Deshaun Elliott on injured reserve nursing that hyperextended knee, Duggar steps right into the starting strong safety role and brings stability to a position that's been thin for weeks. Now, the real question is what happens next. How will Pittsburgh handle the free safety spot? Do they trust Jabril Peppers, who's built more like a hitter than a coverage safety, to handle that role? Or could Derek Forrest, the new addition to the practice squad, eventually work his way into that position once he's ready? The Steelers often mix between split safety and single high looks, so how they use Duggar and Peppers together will be fascinating to watch. One thing's clear, both players bring toughness and attitude, and that's exactly the DNA of this defense. As for Duggar's contract, he's locked in for 2 more seasons after this one, though the deal carries a heavy price tag. At 29 years old, he's still athletic and physical, but the team will want to see how he performs before making any long-term decisions. If he shines in Pittsburgh's system, and there's every reason to believe he can, the Steelers might just find themselves keeping him around beyond this year. Overall, this is a smart, short-term solution that could grow into something more. For the small cost of a late-round swap, the Steelers added experience, strength, and versatility to a defense that needed all 3. That's a win in every sense. The message is simple. Omar Khan isn't waiting, he's building. Every move feels calculated, every decision deliberate. Pittsburgh wants to compete now, not later. Stay with me, because as this story unfolds, And if the con artist makes another move, we'll break it down piece by piece. This season is far from over, and the Steelers are just getting started.